We just watched the final day of women's qualification. I have been in the arena for over 12 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and Spencer has been watching from home, hoping his eyes won't bleed. Flavia hit beam, everyone. Light all the candles and keep them lit until the beam final. Those are your instructions. Melnikova is leading the all-around qualification so easily. But it's all fun and games until Russia goes to, say it together, beam. Yes. So we're going to talk about USA, Russia, independent athletes who live in Russia, China, the British, France, and Mexico. It is October 21st here in Jakarta. And welcome to the number one gymnastics podcast in the galaxy. I'm Jessica, and I'm here with Spencer from the Balance Beam Situation. And the show is PG-13. And then after behind the scenes, it's 14. And
And then if we start talking about qualification, it's R. If you watched, you know.
Our world's coverage from Jakarta is brought to you by Gymnastics Medicine. Learn more on their website, gymnasticsmedicine.org. And we did have a reason to see the Jakarta medical team in action tonight, unfortunately. This show is also brought to you by Club Gym Nerd. They are the ones that pay for this trip. They get a whole extra Q&A podcast live every single week. And then they get another third podcast during college gymnastics season. And so there's an extra part of the show for them. So if you're a Club Gym Nerd member, switch over to your members only feed now. Instructions are in the show notes. Let us begin with the head, Spencer.
Topic number one. If you had told me yesterday, I would have called the police. That's where we're going to start. Item A. Zhou Yaqin stepped backward off the beam and fell and didn't make the beam final. It's so upsetting and also hilarious, but also upsetting. So what happened if you didn't see? Zhou Yaqin, Olympic silver medalist on beam, a world silver medalist on beam, fell on her switch half. And so we are already coping. Like, it's okay. She can make the beam final with a fall. Based on how everyone else has been, she could fall once. We know she could score a 15. She could fall once and still make the beam final. She gets back up on the beam. She is adjusting herself on the end of the beam, and she steps backward off the beam. And there's no beam there because it's air, and she falls. And it's a second fall, and it was at Worlds. And I'm just going to say, I blame leaving that stupid springboard there.
Oh.
I think if the springboard hadn't been there, it wouldn't have happened.
It's so insane and upsetting that it's comical.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the only way to deal with it at this point, because it's just wrong that this happened.
I'm sure she's not at comedy yet. Maybe like in 2 years of processing, she'll be into that was funny, but not yet.
A lot of therapy. Maybe when she's 40, 45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That she, like, after in a few days when she wins a few years when she wins, LA 2028 Olympic gold medal, then it'll be okay.
Be like, haha, remember when I stepped backward off the beam and fell right off again. Leanne Wong had a very weird vault situation, as many athletes did here.
Yes. Also, if you had told me Leanne Wong vaulted a tucked your Checo double full and fell on it and scored an 11, I would have called the police.
As you should have. But it happened. And now it's forever burned into our minds. And I wondered if she didn't do the mix zone, which is, she's done many of mix zones, crying her eyes out. So, this time she chose not to. But I wondered if it's like, her family's here from Malaysia. Everyone is here watching and supporting her. And I wondered if it was like extra embarrassment or extra like pressure, or just extra like, oh my God, I can't believe my whole family is actually here. And this is the time that I can't do the easiest vault. Like, if she'd done the chung first.
The chung was fine. And she did.
It was fine.
It was enough of a second hand. I'm going to say.
Apparently. They were like.
I was fine with it.
Yeah, I was like, support? I don't know. But apparently,
contact.
The judges decided.
I'm going to say, it may be an unpopular opinion. I support their decision that they made not to take 2 points on that.
Are there any other reasons you would have called the police yesterday if someone told you?
Yeah, Julia Perotti didn't make the all-around final. She was supposed to medal in the all-around final. She fell on bars, she fell on beam, she didn't make the all-around final. So we're not accepting that. That is not okay.
No. And she fell twice on beam, and she was then so glorious on floor.
I didn't get to see her beam routine, but maybe
she
it was for
twice.
the best.
It was also, she was just like, what happened? Just like kind of like shock. And it was like she just missed a foot completely on her series and then just ended up on her butt and then like hit her toe on the way down. And then was just, it's one of those things where I was like, don't zoom in. Her toenail might be gone. Sorry, you guys, but that happens a lot in gymnastics. Yeah, I mean, the one thing is like after watching her compete, I was like, oh, maybe Caselli was right in bringing the new generation and pairing them with Asia and being like, oh, they need experience. We need to give them experience.
Well, they've certainly had an experience.
It's an experience.
It was an experience today on the Italian
And we're looking at photos that Fact Checker took because he is amazing and he captured so many fantastic pictures this week.
That's good. That's good for a caption contest. Oh, that's what you need.
With Asia covering her mouth, being like, "What? My routine was so good."
That is not the caption I would have gone with. It would have been about how many falls Italy had today. Okay.
There's that.
Positive note. We're going to do a full, deep dive postmortem on everything. Sabrina Voinea, All-Star Queen of the Day. She was like, these concrete apparatuses are my best friends. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I grew, my mom was a Romanian gymnast. I grew up in this system. You think
you can't break me?
A concrete floor is even remotely going to even phase me at all? No, I'm top qualifier on floor. And she was first on beam for a while. She ended up third qualifier, but hit both easily into both finals, had a great day. First reserve for the vault final, which was always going to be a bonus for her. But yeah, so she was the one who was like, actually, this is all fine. This is a great Worlds for me so far.
And on her beam, I was like, oh no, now she's going to fall. Now she's going to fall. But she hit everything.
Yeah.
It was like she had such a great meet. So if she can hold on to this, things could be very good for her. The other good news for China.
Zhang Qingying. Yes. I was worried because she went after Zhou, who had the 2 falls. But she was like, everything's fine. I'm here. I'm going to hit. Dominated beam. Way easily in first on beam. 4th in the all-around. Great day.
Yep. Super stoked for her. Because after watching her in podium training, I was like, oh my God. She could win. She's so great. One of my favorites, Kate McDonald of Australia.
Her bars was like maybe the gold star best thing I saw today.
Yes. And I asked her about that. I was like, your Tkachev, is it just because I don't usually see it in person, but was it 17 times higher than normal today? She's like, no, that's how I normally do it. But I also thanked her for reminding everyone, and you can watch this interview on YouTube. Actually, do we have that queued up? We could show it right now. I asked her, did you see her fall on floor?
Yes, I did. Her improvised forward roll.
Her improvised forward roll was amazing.
I think she meant to do it.
Yeah, so I did thank her in the interview for that. Do we have that ready? The Kate McDonald? It's a little early, but it's, okay. Please hold because it's worth it. Mm-hmm. Here it comes.
Okay.
Any second now. Also, while we're waiting for this, I talked to Thelma Altsdotter, and I was like, Thelma, and she turned around and she went, Spencer. Literally, I'm not kidding.
Excellent.
And she goes, you are, and I was like, yes, Gymcastic was Spencer. She's like, yes. Yeah, it was like she couldn't remember my name, but she was like, Spencer is.
Oh, she's got it. She's right. I knew I liked her for some reason.
Right? Yes. It was so funny, and she was great. Oh, here's Kate McDonald. Okay, I really appreciated that you reminded everyone of the importance of learning gymnastics at a young age by showing everyone a forward roll and how useful it is.
It is very useful. It is, Forward roll is a fundamental skill in gymnastics, so it's very important. Coach came up to me after floor and he was like triple front or double front, punch front. But yeah, whoops. I was just totally gassed by the end. So I was just happy to be there and just tried to have as much fun as possible on floor, and it didn't go to plan, but not mad about it. So just getting the foundation skills out there for everyone to see.
Safety first, forward roll.
Excellent.
She's great. I mean, yeah, she's so fun. I just appreciate that she could have a sense of humor. I mean, had a great meet, but also she could have a sense of humor about that.
I mean, she's also in the bars final. That also makes it easier to be like, oh yeah, I fell on floor, because bars was amazing. I would say
easier for random American to come up to you and make fun of your fall on floor. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the routine where the gymnast who hit the closest to the best they could actually possibly do their routine in the moment at Worlds was Kate McDonald's bars. It was like, oh yeah, if you were to say at the end of your gymnastics career, like that's the routine, that was the one, that's her one, and it's at Worlds. So
yep. And I love that a bunch of the men's teams were here cheering on the women, and you could hear the Aussie guys so loud.
We could on the stream as well.
Yeah.
No stereotypes were broken today. We could hear all of the Australians.
Good job, Australia. There are a lot of Australians here. The announcer did say, hey, are there a lot of Australians in the audience? Because, they're so close. And there were many Australians, and they're very loud, and good for them. A person who has made the 3 finals. 3 finals. Dulcie made 3 finals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because Dulcie started and she fell on her Tkachev on bars, which is how it had been going in podium training as well. You said that was kind of what her bars routine had been looking like. But then she came back, top US score on beam, made the final. Top US score on floor, made the final, hung on for the final. Top US all-around score, made the final. So what actually became a very impressive day, it just started with a fall. And I thought that was very good.
Yeah, I was very impressed with her. And I talked to her afterwards. And of course, all of these are up on our YouTube page. And it's great if you've subscribed to our YouTube page, because that helps us a lot. Because we get pennies when people watch those videos. And it really helps.
Very important pennies.
Pennies make a difference at this. It's very expensive to fly all the way here. But I talked to her about it, and I was like, you tell me if I'm projecting, but obviously I literally said that to her, but like, I feel like I watched your parts on bars and like they were fine and your form was beautiful. And then when you put it all together, it's like you seem stressed because you want it so bad, because your normal is not that. And she was like, no, you're not projecting. I want it so bad. It's like my mind. I'm putting way too much pressure on myself. But then after bars, she was like, I know what I'm doing. This is not a problem for me. I totally thought Petisco of Spain was going to knock her out of the floor final.
That was very close. Petisco's floor routine was the last person to go. So Dulcie Caylor was in the last spot on floor. Petisco did an amazing routine that deservedly got the highest execution score of anyone on floor all day long. And I think that was appropriate, not just because she was last and like an idea of score building or something. And I was like, oh, Petisco got it, because that routine was amazing. And it ended up being like less than a 10th shy. Petisco's in 9th. She's first reserve for the floor final.
It was crazy. I mean, I watched it and I was like, well, if you're going to get knocked out, that's the one to get knocked out. Okay, goodbye. Packed up my stuff. And then I got down to the, to the mix zone and asked questions. I was like, wait, she didn't make it. And then I saw her in the bathroom after. And I was like, I know this is an inappropriate place to talk to you, but I'm just so shocked you didn't make floor final, because it's like the most amazing floor routine I've seen all day. And you did so great. And then I instantly left the bathroom. But, just I had to say it was so good. Anyway. You know me.
I do know you. Yes. Okay. Should we do like a little Team USA postmortem?
Yes.
On this performance?
Let us begin.
We are at the 15-minute mark, though, if you needed an update for that.
Yes. I don't know if you guys have ever done like a postmortem on your own routine, because you're just like, wow, I thought I was ready to do this. And then I got to the meet and I was like, oh, I'm going to balk on the scale 700 times, like at a world championships, for example. And you're like, wow, I thought I was done being scared of this. But it turns out when the mats are white and the ceiling's black, it looks way scarier. And that's why, hello, Sam Peshek.
Hey, Sam Peshek here. Yep, I'm an Olympian, but you probably didn't know that I had crippling fears throughout my entire gymnastics journey. I kid you not, I was competing at World Championships and my coaches would be so nervous in hopes that I would just go for my series on beam. It was terrible. Fear is so prevalent in this sport, which is why I wanted to host a free live digital event for all gymnasts and coaches on Sunday, October 26th at 6 p.m. Central Time. Dr. Kylie Alt-Baker will share simple ways to face fear and build confidence in the gym. So invite every gymnast you know to register on our free Beam Queen app or go to beamqueen.com. That's beamqueen.com. See you there.
So postmortem for the United States.
Yeah. So here's the thing. As Chelsea Memmel said, and you can read Scott Bregman's article, it was rough. That was my sentiment as well. But then everybody made a final. So it might end up not being as rough as it seemed, I guess. Because Dulcie Caylor and Leanne Wong are in the all-around final. Robertson, vault final, last qualifier. Blakely, bars final. Caylor, beam final. Caylor, floor final, last qualifier. So they got in. And we'll see what happens in the finals. But yeah, there were some issues today. We talked about Leanne Wong. Very strange. It seemed like they put her Yurchenko double full first, specifically because they wanted the safe one to be her score for the all-around, and then it turned out to be not the safe one, because that was the one she had a problem with. We talked about Dulcie Caylor having a fall on bars. Beam everyone hit. Beam is interesting, and I feel like if this were like one of those sports where people do like sport things, this is the tape they would look at in the tape room afterward. I'd be like, that's a football thing, right? They have a tape room and they tape things. They would look at this and be like, okay, Leanne Wong had an amazing beam routine. That was really solid and really pretty in a lot of respects. Why was she third on the team? Behind two other routines that were much shakier. Let's talk about composition. Because it was largely a composition issue, I feel like. Sky Blakely, it was like great at the beginning, and then she got really shaky and wobbly, and it was enough. She's first reserve for the beam final, and that was enough to take her out of it. But it was like everyone hit beam. Everyone stayed on.
And I asked Sky about that because, and she didn't appreciate that question very much, but I was like, tell me about the journey on beam today. And she was like, yeah. So she was like, yeah, I started confident and then I sort of got more nervous. And, but I did compliment her on how much bigger her handspring front has just gotten higher and higher and higher. And like, I feel like that was one of the best things. She took a little step on it, but it was so good. But the biggest thing for me is like, just I feel like the composition is the problem in these routines, like especially being here and looking at the composition. It's just here we have a quote from Sky.
I think so. I think with a lot of experience now with my age, I've been on a lot of different bars, so it's a little easier for me to adjust faster, but definitely helped working on the Taishan bars in May at camp and then at selection camp, just kind of getting used to it and realizing that it's pretty similar to bars that I've been on before, so I feel like the adjustment wasn't that hard.
So I was asking her about the Taishan bars and how like she had been using them at camp, and you remember they weren't required to use them to qualify to get here, but she had, and Leanne did too. So I asked her if that helped, and I think you could tell that like she has that pack kip situation is like wonky, but she did not have the problems that so many people had here adjusting. And one of the things that she told Dulcie, or Dulcie told me later that Sky said to her is like, this is a stepping stone to Worlds. Don't freak out. This is our stepping stone to LA 2028. So just learn from it and learn. And I feel like what the Team USA as a whole should learn is you have to change your composition. Except Dulcie, because her composition is down. She's got it down. It's not a problem.
Because she got her into finals on both beam and floor without her best performances. They were solid, but it was not. Like there were issues. It was not as strong as she can do, but she still got into finals. I think there's some room to reconstruct.
Yep. And I also talked to I talked to Joss and she was like, I feel like I just didn't. She said there's a lot going on behind the scenes that people don't know about. And again, all these interviews are up on YouTube. But she was like, and I was like, well, can you tell us? Is there anything you want to share? And she was like, I just have not been able to. Like my ankle's been really hurting me. I have not been able to get my vaults together. Like I didn't even know if I was going to be able to do this. And she was like, I know my landings can be better, but it was just like the best I could do today. And I feel like listening to her say that, I was like, yes, we all know you can do better landings. Your ankle is hurting you right now, or your ankles, but there's way more you could fix in the routine compositionally that would help you get a better score. I think it's not just the landings, and I hope that that's what Chelsea takes back to after this Worlds, is like, what can we tweak? How can we take advantage of the code? Because the code hacking is, I think, what's missing in a lot of areas for the team as a whole.
Other countries had some no good, very bad days. We talked about Italy. There were a lot of misses for Italy. Perotti did make the floor final though, so it's all gonna be okay. Because Perotti made the floor final, D'Amato made the all-around final. Fioravanti fell on floor. It was going so well too on her last pass.
It was so good. I know.
Other struggles, Brazil mostly, except Flavia's beam was amazing, and she made the final qualified in second on beam. But there were other, for the most part, Brazil had a tough day. Yeah,
I think it's also for them. It's like the adjust. I thought I was like so annoyed with Caselli when he said that's Italy's Marta, and or Italy's Memel, let's say. And I was like, this is but what about the veterans? And they're so good, and we want to see the best. But you can really see that people need this to be under this pressure. Like some of the athletes that was at Germany, they were like, well, it was really different when all the people were here. And I was like, all the people? I was like, God damn, how many people come here meets in Germany? Like, there's nobody here. I mean, today there's, I think I talked about this yesterday. There was maybe 500 people, but I was like, oh, thank God you're here. Because wait till you get to Rotterdam. That's going to be the loudest place you've ever been. It's already sold out. It's a year in advance. So, yeah, it's good. But also, I'm just like, beam, I don't know. Some people can get it together on beam, and then some people just totally fall apart on beam. And I know beam's beam, and Russia really needs to get it together on beam because they did not have these beam problems.
That's been true for 30 years.
I know. So they need to do some rituals and burn some things and sacrifice a leotard or something because they got to change their juju on beam.
Also, France, no finals.
I know. This is very upsetting. When fell on her full.
Oh, Osisek. Yeah.
Osisek. Oh. This was so upsetting.
I know.
Her gymnastics.
I thought she was getting. I thought this was her time.
I know, but apparently it's Flavia's.
It's no one's time except Flavia and Sabrina Voinea.
Flavia's the one. It's Flavia's year. Flavia's gonna win. Flavia also very excited that she's so famous in Brazil now. FYI, and she would like to meet Lady Gaga.
Let's make it happen.
You guys, if any of you are little monsters or whatever they call the Lady Gaga people, this is her request in our interview with her.
Got it.
Speaking of Flavia, did you see her being attacked on the floor?
No.
Okay, we have we'll link to that video in the show notes. It is up, or look on our YouTube, and you have to see her talk about it because I just in the mix on all I said was ready. Reenact what happened. Here we go. Megan's
watched it, says the interview was hilarious. Her B story. Okay, I'm ready to watch it.
Yeah. Because Flavia, all you have to say to her is please act and nothing else. You don't have to do anything else as an interviewer. She takes it from there.
She's ready to go.
Yeah. Okay, qualifiers.
Yes, let's talk through some of the qualifiers. Okay, so we need to do our results of our draft for the all-around final because we drafted our lead groups. So we need to go through the lead group, the results for the all-around final. Those who will rotate in Olympic order starting on vault in the all-around final are number 1 qualifier, Melnikova, number 2, Sugihara, 3, Namor, 4, Zhang, 5, Dulcie Caylor, 6, Karina Schoenmeyer. So the results are, how did we do? Bum. We tied. We each got 2. Because I had Melnikova and Sugihara, which, by the way, top 2 qualifiers. So if we're doing a tiebreak,
all right, calm down. It doesn't count.
You had 3 Namor and 4 Zhang Qingying. Neither of us had Dulcie Caylor, which we talked about. We were underestimating Dulcie, but you know.
But
and then Schoenmeyer, top 6. I did not think she was going to get top 6. So I missed with Roshchina, who was 7th, so close. I had Leanne Wong, who's 9th, Ruby Evans, who's 11th, and Julia Perotti, who will be 1st next year. This is just like we talked about with the first year that Manila competed at Worlds, and we were like, she's amazing, she's perfect, she's going to win everything. And then she fell on like every routine, and it was like, just put a pin in it. Yeah.
Right. Next year.
And then Jessica missed with Patisco, who's 10th, D'Amato, who's 13th, Fioravanti, who did not do the all-around, and Gabrielle Black, who did not make the final.
Okay. You don't need to rub it in.
I was just going through the results. Announcing the results is neither rubbing nor inning.
Speaking of which, Igor Radivlov was on the floor again coaching.
I did see.
And just in case you missed it. And Bart Derlot was here watching. And also Casimir was watching the competition and filming his love interest. I don't want to say girlfriend. I don't want to put like words in anyone's mouth. But that was very cute. Every routine. He was like, oh, I've got to film. Very nice. Vault. Who won?
Well, no one's won yet because this was qualification. But our qualifiers on vault are Melnikova, Dong, Fontaine, Schoenmeyer, Kalmikova, Valen, Mortz, and Robertson. So some surprises here. I want to talk through some of the favorites who didn't make it. We mentioned Leanne Wong. There was a Yurchenko double full incident. Carla Navas, we talked about yesterday. Georgieva did not make the final with an injury. Did you see that happen in real time?
I only saw from her feet land, and then it looked okay, but I couldn't see the rest of her. And then I saw her fall to the side, and I was like, "Oh no!" But this was terrible, you guys. The whole way the injury was handled was just ridiculous. Like people ran, then nothing happened. Then at some point a doctor came out. Then she was just on the mat for way too long without being really evaluated. Then someone ran over with a wheelchair and then just went right past her and put it away. And then like, it's funny because it was like, this could have been like a comedy being acted out, but it just took forever. There wasn't a real evaluation. I feel like they should have done it in the moment and then removed her from the surface when it was safe. But it was just, it was messy. They put her on the stairs instead of moving her somewhere else. I just felt really bad. But it looks like it's, a knee, a ligament is what it looked like. But I was not impressed by the speed or the efficiency with which they handled her injury, which does not bode well if something very serious happens, which someone has already landed on their neck in the men's competition. So I'm hoping nothing else like that happens. That is me knocking on the wood.
Got it. Bars, Nemor, Yang Funyue, who did not do the layout Jaeger full. It got a little weird on that pirouette and then just did the layout Jaeger, which I don't know if that was like an in the moment because I'm kind of off, just like got to keep it together. I can qualify in second without it decision. But so didn't do it, but did enough. It was kind of a weird moment that she worked through and is still qualified in second because she's excellent. Melnikova, Kate McDonald, Vasilieva, Zoya Sekai, Sky Blakely, and Naomi Visser was the last qualifier, a third of a tenth ahead of Fierman, who is the first reserve for the bars final. Some of the favorites who did not make the final, the entire nation of Italy. No Italians in the bars final, which is You know,
Uh,
if you wanted to motivate Asia, get Alice to come to Worlds, be like, I do everything myself around here. I leave you alone for one moment, and there are no Italians in the bars final. Come on. Nakamura of Death fame did not make the bars final, so it's invalid, unacceptable.
I want to pause right here because we are coming up on the part where we continue the conversation.
Oh, yeah, you got to wait for Beam. If you want us to talk about Beam, well, join the club.
Yes, join club. And also, if you want to hear more about Zhang, our 26-year-old vaulter for China, I did get to talk to her today, and I did ask all of your burning questions, especially, is it really true that you gave up gymnastics because you were so obsessed with K-pop? And what did you do? And how did you come back? And what are you obsessed with now? So that is all in our YouTube channel. And if you are, and I also have some stories to tell you guys, because I have to tell you about all the rules that have been broken here. And I have to tell you about a very unusual thing that happened with an athlete, which I don't think it's against the rules, but I feel like this is not in the way the rules are intended. And I'll tell you about that. And then so let's start. Let's go there. But if you want to hear these behind the scenes stories, which I will tell you all about, we have 5 more. How many more days of podcasts? 5 more days of
Men's
podcasts?
all around?
4.
Women's all around. Event finals. That's 4.
2 more days of 4, you guys. Whoop! Been up for many gymnastics. And we get these live podcasts. You get to ask us questions live. We answer questions during it. And if you cannot afford a Club Gymnast membership right now, that's okay. Our amazing community has donated scholarships. Go to Forum, Show Stuff, and Gymnastics Scholarship. It's an honor system. We won't tell anybody that you can't afford this right now. You're in financial distress. And if you want to donate one of these, we've had 3 people this week donate. You can email editor@gymcastic.com. And if you're not a member yet, we will see you tomorrow after men's all-around finals.
If you liked what you heard, get more by joining Club Gymnast.